where one guard is just a lot stronger than the other because of her experience.
Clark disrespected. Fans go wild as Stephanie White snubs Clark. Says Kelsey Mitchell is her star player, not Clark. The Indiana Fever press conference was packed with reporters. All eyes on head coach Stephanie White as she took the stage to discuss the team's future. The anticipation in the room was palpable. Everyone was waiting to hear about the key players and the direction of the franchise. White began talking, highlighting the exciting new additions to the team: Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and Lexi. However, there was one glaring omission from her comments: Kelsey Mitchell, the longtime heart and soul of the Fever. As White continued praising the new players, the whispers in the room grew louder. Where was Mitchell's name? Was she being traded? Retiring? Had there been a falling out with the coach? The internet exploded with fan theories as the press conference progressed. On Twitter, Instagram, and basketball forums, fans were freaking out, coming up with all sorts of wild ideas about Mitchell's future. Was she leaving the team? Had she decided to retire? Was there bad blood between her and the coach? It was like watching a basketball soap opera unfold in real time. But just when everyone thought they had it all figured out, a shocking truth emerged. Mitchell wasn't even at the press conference. That's why White hadn't mentioned her. The star player was somewhere else entirely, leading to even more speculation about what was happening behind the scenes. However, those jumping to conclusions were about to be proven very wrong. White's silence about Mitchell wasn't a sign of her being pushed aside. It was all part of a bigger plan, one that was about to change the face of the Fever franchise. I think people made a little bit too big a deal of Kelsey Mitchell not being mentioned at Stephanie White's introductory Fever press conference, said one expert. You know, there were the three players in attendance: Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and Lexi, so of course they were going to be the focus. But that doesn't mean Mitchell is being overlooked. In fact, the opposite was true. Mitchell wasn't mentioned because she didn't need to be. She was already the cornerstone of the team. This press conference was all about showing how the pieces were falling into place around her, with Clark, Boston, and the other new additions joining Mitchell to form a formidable core. The future is so bright, and our ultimate goal is to hang another banner in the field house, White told the assembled media. And our ultimate goal is to come back in here after we win that championship and celebrate again like we did in 2012. Wait, did she just say championship? As in multiple championships? White wasn't just talking about making the playoffs. She had her sights set on bringing the trophy back to Indiana. And at the center of that plan was Kelsey Mitchell. To be able to work with that big three, Kelsey Mitchell, Caitlin Clark, and Aaliyah Boston, and continue to work and put pieces around them to compete for a championship back in my home state. It just couldn't have aligned any better, White said. There it was, Mitchell's name, explicitly mentioned alongside the other two rising stars. White's plan wasn't about pushing Mitchell aside. It was about elevating her to the center of a championship-caliber core. Kelsey Mitchell, who I think has weathered the storm of Indiana Fever basketball, and I felt like had the best year of her career this year, is going to be right at the center of it all, the coach explained. White saw Mitchell as a generational talent, a player who could be the foundation for a transformative Fever team. And she wasn't just talking about winning on the court. She wanted to change the entire culture of the franchise, building a team of players who lifted each other up and played together. There's a fire and a mentality that you can't teach when it comes to competitive spirit and being a great teammate and lifting those around you, White said. Watching both Mitchell and Clark grow into not just the players that they are, but grow into the spotlight, how they lead, how they make their teammates better, how they lift one another up. That's what I'm most excited about. So there was the big reveal. White's silence about Mitchell wasn't a snub. It was all part of a grand plan to build a championship-contending team around her, with Clark and Boston joining as the supporting cast. Mitchell wasn't being pushed aside. She was being elevated to the centerpiece. Incredibly competitive players, there's a fire and a mentality that you can't teach when it comes to competitive spirit and being a great teammate and lifting those around you, White said. And watching both of them grow into not just the players that they are, but grow into the spotlight, how they lead, how they make their teammates better, how they lift one another up. That's what I'm most excited about. But the story doesn't end there. As shocking as White's plan for Mitchell may have been, there's an even bigger twist in store. Because according to insiders, the Fever aren't just assembling a talented trio. They're crafting a dynamic duo that could reshape the WNBA. Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin Clark playing together. Two of the brightest young stars in the league, teaming up to take the Fever to new heights. It's a partnership that has everyone in the basketball world buzzing. "If they'll have me," Clark said with a smile, "I'll be right there." The potential pairing of Mitchell and Clark has experts and fans alike salivating at the thought. Clark's elite vision and deep shooting range, combined with Mitchell's blazing speed and scoring prowess, could be a deadly combination. Picture this on the court. Clark is dishing out assists, Boston is dominating the paint, and Mitchell is slicing through defenses like they're standing still, one analyst explained. It's as if they were built to play together. Once these three hit their stride, opposing teams won't know what hit them. And it's not just about their individual talents. It's how they elevate each other's games. Mitchell, Clark, and Boston don't just add to each other's strengths, they multiply them. The whole becomes greater than the sum of its parts. It's not just about putting together the best 12 players. It's about putting the best team together, the expert noted. And that's exactly what Stephanie White is doing with this Fever squad. The plan is clear. Build around Mitchell as the centerpiece. Surround her with complementary stars like Clark and Boston. And watch the Fever transform into a juggernaut. It's a strategy aimed at not just making the playoffs, but winning championships. The core of Kelsey Mitchell, Caitlin Clark, and Aaliyah Boston. The more that stays together, the more opportunities for the other players to capitalize and the better chance for the Indiana Fever to win, the analyst said. It's going to be a problem for the rest of the league, but the story gets even better. Mitchell's time in China isn't just about staying in shape. It's all part of a bigger plan to take her game to new heights. She's been working on improving her defense, her leadership, and even her three-point shooting. Playing in China isn't just about staying in shape for Mitchell. It's a chance to face different styles of play, learn new tricks, and grow as an athlete, one insider revealed. And the Fever are fully on board with it. They know that when she comes back, she's going to bring all that new experience with her.